Hello everyone, welcome to an exciting special event here on ARG Presents. As you can see, the Brent is no longer with us. He's been replaced by this inanimate box. Just as much personality without all the pain. So, what do we have here? Well, on this very special episode, I'll be unboxing this huge mystery box of Tandy color computer items. I purchased this box from a fellow on Facebook. I thought I got a reasonable deal. I had this shipped in from South Carolina for the low price of $175. That's total. He was asking $150 for the box, and I had him add in shipping, and he cut me a bargain. So, without further ado, we will see if I've been screwed or not. The pictures look good, but we'll have to find out for ourselves. And I thought I'd share this momentous occasion with you, gentle viewer. So I'm gonna turn this box over. I'm gonna use this trusty patented ARG knife to cut it open, and we'll see what's in this sucker. So let's give it a whirl here. You can see this is a large box, and it weighs a ton. I'm not gonna put it on the table because it would take up valuable real estate that we'll need for display purposes. Oh, good God, help me. See if I can get this in a set on the chair here. Some way. Let's see here. Good enough. I'll figure something out. So, let's cut this sucker open. You know, I'm just going to set it right up here on the table. Hell with it. We'll make space. Oh, good God. Okay, there we go. Trusty knife. What's in here. Now I know this was to come with a lot of software, a lot of wacky stuff, so we shall see. Alright, so now I've got the box open, I'm going to set it on the floor. That sounds like a good idea. Here we go. Okay, now we'll just do this unboxing style and just go and randomly pick stuff out. Everyone loves an unboxing video. That's for you, Boat. So, first thing out of the gate, right here on top, this is Seamus. I've not heard of this one. This looks to be a floppy disk. Yeah, it sure is. Floppy disk game. This is a pretty old one, I would wager. Wow, look at that. This thing's got a price tag on it of $1. I would wager it's now worth substantially more. You know, CoCo collectibles are actually worth a pretty good amount of cash sometimes. So, moving along here. Just got a loose floppy here. What do you got here? Looks like, oh, this is a flight simulator. Here's the keyboard commands, overlay. Oh God, this thing's turned sideways in the pouch here. Flight Simulator 2 for the color computer. You can see that the label is coming off. That's neat. It's got some of the, it's not the full documentation, but some of it here. Okay. What else we got here? Here's some more maps for the flight simulator. Looks like it's got everything here but the box. So, oh, and there's the box for Flight Simulator 2. There's a beefy manual in there. Now, I believe Flight Simulator 2 was a multi-platform. This might be the one that came with the XEGS. They'll hold me to that. That's a Color Computer 3 game right there. Okay. Next, we've got the Interbank Incident, a graphic adventure game. I'm not going to lie to you, I've never heard of that. Again, this looks like a pretty old game. This is also on floppy. And, wow, 3 discs. Now, I have to say that's impressive. This requires a 64K. This runs OS 9. This is one of those guys. So this must have been a more recent release. So Kind of neat. I'll keep the ball rolling here. Whoops. Shut that down. Shut up. Come on. Don't be a jerk. Here we go. All right. Next on the docket here. Kinderkomp. Now, I have a bunch of these for the Atari 8-bit line. These are the floppy versions again. That floppy disk has got a little adhesion to it or something. Oh, it's probably the label sticking out. To take that and pull that out of there. But you can see there it is. You can see this stuff's probably been subjected to some heat with the floppies. I'll probably never use these floppies because I'll be getting an SD card solution for the CoCo. Oh, here we go. Now, this is interesting. I never knew this was actually made for the color computer. And this is Microfun Dino Eggs, or Dino Eggs. If it's the same game I'm familiar with, now this is a pretty fun game. So there's Dino Eggs. Kind of neat. From the Learning Company, I didn't learn how to say company. This is the Escape from Robotropolis, Robot Odyssey Adventure 1. It's pretty cool. I had to say I've not heard of this one. This also looks like it's on floppy. So a lot of these are floppies. Let's see what else we've got here. Well, here's something. Now, I used to have one of these. This is the speech/sound program pack. And we'll open this up, have a look at this. Pull this out here. Wow, in the box with the docks and everything. Hopefully the item's actually with us. And there it is. Now, me and my brother have talked about these on the show before. Here's all the documentation as well. Kind of like that box. This was a cartridge that would fit into your Color Computer 2 or 3 and would give it speech. Very, remedial, speech like you would hear on like when your Amiga had speech or whatever, But what was neat about this is it was implemented into games, and you could go in and change. It was real easy to see what the sound files were in the games that supported it. You could just go and change them whatever you want. I remember me and my brother would make these say all kinds of bad stuff. The funny thing is, to use this along with a floppy drive, you have to have what's called a multi-pak. And the multi-pak gives you 3 cartridge slots. Well, we didn't have one, so we would load up the game and then rip out the controller and stick this in and hope it worked. And we'd get it to work probably about 50% of the time. So that's super nice in the box, too. The box is not in the best shape, but still pretty cool. I'll stick that back in here. Very pleased with that. That takes me back. And those little add-ons make it a lot of fun, I think. And the box is in pretty decent shape. I mean, it's obviously got some flaws in it, but that's not too bad there. We'll set that like that. Okay, here's a loose cartridge. This is Audio Spectrum Analyzer. That probably isn't much fun, but there you go, Audio Spectrum Analyzer. Let's see here. Here's another loose cartridge. This is Thexter. Now, this is a game I've played. This is a pretty popular game. This is a third-party game for the CoCo from Sierra. And Sierra, of course, I don't have to go into their background. They've done a ton of great stuff. So, Thexter, a tremendous game that I used to play back in the day. Okay, another one of these Spinnaker educational titles, Fraction Fever. I'd wager this is also on disc. It's odd to me that these didn't come on cartridge for the CoCo, but here's another one that's on disc. It's also sticky. I wonder if the backs are meant to stick to these things. It makes me wonder, because it seems like they're adhered in there, maybe to keep the disc from you losing the disc or whatever. There's all the accoutrement. In terms of value for these, I've never on the Atari anyway. These did not have a whole lot of value to them, but still, the price was right. So here's a couple more loose cartridges. Let's see what we've got here. We've got Springster. Springster offers the finest resolution, brilliant color graphics, maneuver through 32 different exciting mazes in search of the maze melon. Pretty good. This is a CoCo 3 game. I believe this might be a Qbert clone. One of the reasons I love the CoCo so much is because of its crazy clones. And I would wager that that is in fact another clone. And this other cartridge is Color Baseball. It's a fun game. I've played this one. It's basic, obviously, but a Color Baseball, you can't go wrong with that. All right, let's grab something else here. There's a piece of paper in here with my address on it. It got here, man. Okay, what do we got here? Creative Exploration Series, the Tandy Home Education Systems. You've got Growbot, Time Bound, and Flipside. And there you go. Again, this one I've never heard of. Let me see how these come out of here. They come out in a really strange way. I don't know if they're meant to slide out or open. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not even going to attempt it. I'll have to look that up. Oh, here we go. It's got Velcro, duh. And these are floppies. They're all there. There's the guy. So that's a pretty nice location. Velcro's open. All right, another Spinnaker, Kid Rider, another Atari one I've came across. And now this one does not seem to have. Oh, there they are. Yeah, there's the discs. They're in there. And notice a lot of these labels are coming off. So like I said, that's usually an indicator that the item was probably somewhere and got hot. Got to have this. Introduction to the Tandy Color Computer 3. Tandy, their manuals were always top shelf. And that one, when I had mine, you used them to learn. They were great. Now here's an oddball. This is just a cartridge with a generic label on it. It says Color Script Set. That's all it says. So I don't know what that is. Color Script Set. The fellow that I bought this stuff off of apparently was a computer dealer at some point. He thought he had liquidated his collection, and then when he moved, he found this color computer stuff, and so I'm glad he did. Okay, what else we got here? We've got another of the Tandy Educational Series. We've got Taxi, Peanut Butter Panic, and Star Trap. I do like the art on these. See right there. This one has, this has got bonus goodies in it. The TRS-80 TRS-80 Computer Reference Handbook stuck in there. We'll take that out. And there are some blanks in here. There's a bunch of discs in this one. It's an odd place to store your discs. Looks like he's just got some different stuff on here. Just some generic discs. And then here is Taxi. There's BBS software on here, so that's kind of neat. And it looks like, Star Trap is in there as well. So it looks like the games that are supposed to be in there were, in fact, in the box. So kind of neat there. Okay, let's grab something else here. What do we got here? Okay, we've got the, yes, of course. And you can see someone's put a little annotation there. This is the Color Computer 3 Extended Basic book for the CoCo. Like I said, CoCo, their manuals, look at the size of that thing. They didn't screw around. They set you up. One of the selling points of the CoCo was when you picked one of these up, you could literally learn to program with what was in the box. Look, that's even got color. A color section right there. I think that's lovely. They did not mess around on their manuals, and they were great. You can see someone went through and marked their little spots in here with these little tags. It's kind of cool. So this other manual here is TRS-80 Color Computer Assembly Language Programming. Probably a pretty important book if that's your bag. It's not my bag. All right, let's grab some more here. All right, I think this is the last of the educational titles. This is VidTex, Tandy Home Education System. This has a beefy manual. Look at that. And a reference card. I'm wondering what this was. VidTex, a powerful communications program for accessing information. So this is, you could get on CompuServe or Dow Jones. I remember my CoCo came with a CompuServe and Dow Jones discs to get online with them, or the information. I don't know if it came with any discs or not. All right, let's keep digging here. What do we got here? This is a Tandy Color Computer folder. Look at that. Look how beautiful those graphics are on that. Let's open this thing up here. Oh my. This is a computer learning lab. This is cassettes. Much like our friends over in the UK and Europe, yes, there were Americans that used cassettes, and they were CoCo owners. We used quite a bit of cassettes. I mean, I used cassettes for a good while before I ended up getting my my floppy drive. So that's quite an intriguing set there, because that's got programs you could type in and stuff. I mean, this thing was the premium way to learn how to program, in my opinion. Okay, here's another notebook here. So look and see what's in here. This looks like it could just be. Oh, this is what are we looking at here? Ultimation. This is this right here is a freeware. Someone printed out a thing to use this particular type of software. These are terminal programs, and here's another one in here. And so this is stuff someone has gotten and printed out and stuck in here. That's nice inclusion. I like it. If anything, I got the cool CoCo notebook out of the deal. Okay, here we go. This box is a little flat, but this is Epic's Sub Battle Simulation. I've not played this one, to be honest with you. In fact, I don't know if I've ever heard of this particular one. It is also on floppy. It looks like it's complete. That might be kind of fun. The box is mashed, but the box is actually in pretty good shape, except for being mashed. So maybe I can do something with it. Doesn't really matter. You know, these boxes go, whoops. Well, that's not going to do us any favors. Clearly, room for improvement on that. Wow, that fell right out of the sheath. Let me grab this, guys. There we go. Don't want to lose that. Sub-battle simulation. We will deal with that in due time. I'll set that right there. Okay. We're getting into some loose stuff here. Let's go ahead and pull it out. See what we've got here. Here's just some loose disc. Okay, here's the instruction manual for the multi-pak. This is what I mentioned earlier that gives you multiple cartridge slots that you could plug into. Here's a catalog. Summer '86 Saguaro software out of East Bermuda, Tucson, Arizona. And there are some games and stuff in here. Look at these. Look at the artwork there. That'll be fun to look through. You can't beat those old catalogs when you get these kind of gimmicks here. Here's another catalog, the fall 1984 catalog for Iankea Research out of Jupiter, Florida. So some of these catalogs may be pretty rare. Here's another basic reference guide that would have came with a CoCo 3. Oh, here we go. What is this stuff? This is a flyer for a game. Prickly Pear software, and the game, this is multiple things, but the game here, To Preserve Quandic, 100% graphics, the incredible 2-disc adventure for the TRS-80 color computer, requires 32K and 1 disc drive, $40. Fills 2 discs totally. I love this. They really are pushing this game. I've never heard of it. I've heard of Prickly Pear. What do we got here? This is Dorset Courseware. There must be some sort of a catalog for some sort of educational tools. This catalog's a little bit mauled. There's that. Again, these catalogs are probably pretty rare. This is another item here. It's just utilities and whatnot on here. Oh, here we go. Donald Duck's Playground from Sierra. An action-packed game, it says. There you go. Donald Duck's Playground. It looks pretty good, actually, from the screenshots. Here's a book for Winnie the Pooh in the 100-Acre Wood. I bet that software's in here somewhere. Here's a cat. Let's see, what do we got here? Cybernetics. This is a some kind of instruction manual. It's a student teacher, interesting name, cybernetics. This is Astro Blast advertisement here, so this is probably another, oh yes, this is another set of games that are Cosmic Haywire. These are all different clones. Trek Bower, I remember that one. Shenanigans, absolutely. Sea Search. I remember all these. Black Sanctum. Oh wow, this is great. So this is just an advertisement for some various software and hardware. New keyboard for the thing, monitors for the CoCo. So that's really cool. I'll have a lot of fun going through those. And then here's a thing for TI. I must have CoCo and TI software. This is just another crazy batch of stuff. More flyers. This is for the educational software. This is the Grand Slam. The installation of this RAM kit will void your warranty. So there must be a RAM kit. Here's the RAM kit. The Grand Slam. I'm not familiar with that one either. Now here I am familiar with these guys. Tom Mix Software. We've talked about them before on the show. They did some quality clones. And they did a bunch of really good games. And this is one of their catalogs. I like how these catalogs are just basically Xeroxed and give it away. But yeah, this is great. I remember all these games. That'll be a lot of fun to flip through as well. Here's a warranty for some prickly pear software. Color Baseball's book. That's handy. More Dorset software catalog. And here's the booklet for the disk drive. So I'm good to go on that. Now, we're getting to the nitty gritty here, folks. Here's another. Oh, now this I've got for the Atari. This is the Spinnaker Face Maker. This was a pretty fun program back in the day when you were a kid. You make all kinds of crazy faces. You try to make your buddies. You know, I've got this on cartridge for the Atari, and there it is. The label, of course, just came off. That seems to be the MO on these, a lot of these things. So that's Face Maker, and then this is. We saw the instruction manual. This is Winnie the Pooh in the 100-acre woods. If you're a Disney guy or gal. All right, we're getting down into the nitty-gritty here. Oh, well, we do have some more. Oh, okay, hold the phone. We've got a few more. Here is we saw the cartridge for this. Now, here's the actual box, textured. The box is in good shape, I might add. Let's see what it says it's got in it here. We have the cartridge for this, and this isn't, yeah, this is for the cartridge. I'll go ahead and put the cartridge back in here. Texture was a pretty big deal back in the day for the CoCo. It was a pretty popular game. Of course, you were starved for games, especially when you went to Radio Shack, because a lot of the games you'd give the CoCo, you wouldn't get at Radio Shack. You'd have to mail order them. I mean, they had their games, but their games couldn't hold a candle to the proper games. Really, I like the fact that Sierra has a lower little picture on the front of their box. They spared no expense. It says here on the cover of Texture, over 500,000 units sold. So that was a. I like this. The best-selling action game from Japan. That's what it says on the front of this. And this required a CoCo 3 because this is a 128K game. So it's even got the authors on the back here. That's very unusual. If you can look at the very bottom of this, you can see the Japanese gentleman that actually programmed the game. That's highly unusual. It's interesting that they use that as a selling point. I kind of like that. All right, now we're getting to the big boy stuff, because you're probably thinking to yourself, good Lord, you spent $175 on this? This is craziness. Well, there's a little more action in here. So, one more cartridge here. This is a color computer editor assembler with Z-Bug. It's called EdTasm Plus. There it is. EdTasm Plus. So that looks like, I think that's the last cartridge. Now, let's see what this is. Even I don't know what this is. This is I honestly don't know what this is. It's some kind of super controller, so I'm guessing this is some sort of disk drive controller, like a floppy controller, but it's worn. You can see the lettering has worn off on that. If anybody knows what that is, let me know. It says here, something super computer. and it's got an arrow here that says plugged into the computer. So this must go to cartridge slot, and I'm assuming this would go in like a floppy drive. It's just a guess. That's pretty wacky. We've got, here they are, joysticks. This is the CoCo joystick right here. Now, these are much hated joysticks because they don't self-center. You can see once you move it to the side, it just stays. You actually get used to these, believe it or not, and it does fit well in your hand. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's the best joystick ever made, but it's okay. It's not the worst, in my opinion. It's not the worst. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Got 2 of those. That's great. 2-player action for me. They make a deluxe version, which is white. Now that stick right there is in rough shape. That is going to require a little bit of attention, but it's probably salvageable. Okay, we'll set this down. I'll make a little bit of room here. So, let's see what there's 3 boxes left. This is a goofy, but it came with the bats. This is the Acoustic Coupler. There it is, AC4, Armor Class 4, y'all. And if this is what I think it is, and it is, this is an acoustic modem. Now, even as old as I am, I did not have an acoustic modem. We had the modem IB, which was a modem that you could hook into your phone lines without having to have the phone actually physically set on there. I'm sure most people that would be watching this probably know what this is, but just for the few people that might not know, let's get that off there. The way an acoustic modem works is you would take your old style phone and you would set it right in here, and you can see there's a microphone and a speaker here. You plug this up, and you've even got a volume adjustment right here, and you've got your duplex settings, full and half duplex. You can also send or receive calls. That's what that is. It's all manual on these old ones. So you would set your, like for example, if I wanted to call up a BBS, what I would do is I would put this on originate. I would put my phone here. I would dial the phone number on my phone of the BBS. When I'd hear the tone start, I would put the phone on here, and it would begin negotiating a handshake with the other computer, and then you'd be on if everything went okay. And if, of course, if you had it to answer, you would wait till your phone rang, you'd pick it up, you'd hear the dial tone, you'd put the thing down on here, and then you'd be off. And right here is the RS-232 port that you would hook up to the computer. It was an inelegant solution, but it did work. You know, I have seen these used. I've not, like I said, I've never personally owned one. But the modem IB eliminated the need for the suction, for the earpiece and stuff. It actually went directly into your phone line. You would just plug your phone into it, and then you could do your business. And it worked. It was a lot easier to use, truth be told. So that's kind of neat. I don't know what I'll do with that. That might go bye-bye because I can't imagine what I could possibly do. I will say it's complete. It's got everything you would need to use it. And I guess theoretically, these things would still work. I mean, if you were calling a BBS, of course. Oh, here we go. Here's a manual for Springster, the little Kubert game, which I'm thinking that's what it is. I'll have to try that out. So you've got to have one of these, right? The old TV/game RF thing. Now I've done away with these. I've got a gimmick. Now I believe this, if I'm not mistaken, yes it is. This cable here was your cassette cable. This would hook into your audio. The CoCo, actually, Radio Shack sold a very fine tape deck that you could use for this. And after a while, we wore mine out. I played with it so much, we ended up just using a boom box but it worked well. And I spent many years using tape, like I said, so I was pretty used to it. So now this I'm looking forward to. This is in the box. This I always wanted and never had. The multi-pak interface. We'll pull this out because this is certainly worth commenting on. One of the reasons I thought this stuff was so interesting is because it was all boxed. Now the box aren't in the best shape, and the items are a little bit dirty, but the price was I thought it was a very good price considering what you get. Now, so what you've got here is, pull this out of here. This is the item I spoke of earlier. This plugs into the side of a color computer. All right, you can see you've got your 4 cartridge slots, and so what you would do is you would get your cartridges. Let me get a couple of these bad boys, and you can see they're labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. There you go. So you plug your cartridges in, and like I said, this would go in the side right here, and then you've got a switch here that switches between 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, on the back of this thing is a little on-off switch as well. Now, I think this is a newer model. I believe the original model, don't hold me to this because I'm not a CoCo historian, but I believe the original model was a 3 cartridge slot one. I don't think it had a power button on the back, but I could be wrong about that. I'll look into it. But this one is, I always wanted one of these as a kid because, like I said, we had all kinds of trouble since we had 1 cartridge slot, but these things were infinitely expensive. They were really pricey, but this one looks like it's in good shape. I mean, it needs cleaned, but I think it'll be, I think it'll work. I hope, and if not, I guess we're gonna fix it then. So, anyway, it goes. We'll get some action out of it, and at some point in the near future, I'll be making a video of this stuff in action, and that should be a lot of fun. I was gonna wait, and I couldn't wait. I was like, I gotta go out here and get this stuff out so I can see what it looks like. And so, so far, everything's exactly the way I anticipated. Now, there's one last item here. One last item. Let me set this up here. That's probably a little much. There we go. Okay. So, the piece de resistance in this collection is this bad boy. This is, in fact, the Color Computer 3 in a box. The box is not in the best shape, but it's still in pretty good shape. It's better than no box, which is what I have now. So, last year, I went to a place called the Hillbilly Flea Market. It's a really wacky country flea market in a place called Greenup, Kentucky. And in said flea market, I found a Color Computer 2, which I bought. I was very excited about the Color Computer 2. I used to have a Color Computer 2 when I was a kid. Well, my family upgraded to a Color Computer 3, and there's a couple good reasons why. And so I've been on the prowl for a Color Computer 3 because they bring a lot of extra things to the table that the CoCo 2 didn't have. And this one looks like it's in pretty good shape. Let me grab it out of the box here. So, a little bit of yellowing here, and someone's put a sticker on the front. So, the Color Computer 3 has a few extra bonus things that Color Computer 2 didn't have. And I'll start with the biggest thing. This thing has 128K of memory. The CoCo 2 had 64K. So this has double the memory. This also has better graphical capabilities and was just a better machine. But amongst the other things I had that I really wanted, we'll flip this thing around here. And these can't be overemphasized. These two little items right here, these are the this is composite in and audio, or composite out and audio out. And this means this does not require you to have a RF out, which it does have an RF out right here. You don't have to use it. It's also got, if you look right here, there's an RGB out connector in the bottom of this thing. Now, I have personally never used this connector, but I know you can get things to hook into that to hook up to a monitor. And so ultimately, that would be a nice way to go. This is a good computer though, and this was, for the time that I had a lot of fun. I've always missed it, you know, and so when I saw an opportunity to pick one up, I went ahead and went for it. Now I will say, the fine fellow that sold me this is a very, very nice fellow in South Carolina. I believe is where he was at, maybe North Carolina. And we had a bit of a chat, and he's a real nice guy. And I thought he was a very fair bargainer. I've not done a ton of research price-wise, but I would wager that the CoCo 3, if it works, would probably make this whole lot pay off just from its worth. Now, I'm not selling the CoCo 3. I've been waiting a long time to get one, so I'm hoping it works. And I've always wanted one of the multi-packs, so those are the main reasons I picked up the lot. But I'm looking forward to trying this thing out, and we'll shoot some videos. You know, a lot of people have forgotten about the CoCo. It still has a thriving community, but you don't hear much about it anymore if you're not in the community. And so I dip my toe in that pool occasionally. There are a couple of fine YouTubers that do shows on those, you know, about CoCo software. So, and we'll do a few things. We're definitely not going to go into that realm, I don't think, like as a full-time measure, but we'll definitely do so just to try this stuff out. It'll be a lot of fun. Now, you'll notice that amongst all these discs, I did not get a disk drive with this thing. It was not a deal breaker. Like I said, I'm going to go the SD route. This thing has a perfectly fine SD card, which should sit nicely in my multi-pak along with my speech gimmick. And so this thing will end up being pretty long. It'll stretch out. Well, you saw the multi-pak, so it'll probably be about yay long after it's all said and done. It's, you know, just like the Amiga, they stretch out to the side on the 500. This was almost a contemporary of the Amiga 500. This would have came out, I think these came out in like 83. You know, so it's not too, you know, it was close. These were certainly the contemporary of, say, your ZX Spectrum or your Amstrad. And I think they were a good little machine that have been misunderstood. People don't think the games for these things are very good or whatever. I don't think that's part of the problem is they haven't played the right games. I think that we had a lot of fun playing games on this machine, and there were plenty of competent. I mean, if you want arcade clones, this is the way to go. Was the old CoCo 3 because they had a lot of excellent CoCo clones of the arcade games. Plus, you know, they had some exclusive titles, you know, so which I'll get into. But anyhow, not to linger on any more than I have to. This has gone on for an hour. But thanks for you know, watching me unbox this stuff. It's been a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun to play with this stuff. I'm going to give it all good cleaning, of course, before I dig into it. But hopefully this weekend I'll have some of this stuff cleaned up and we'll be able to have a look. So, thanks again. Hope you enjoyed some CoCo action. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. And until next time, this is Amigo Aaron saying adios.